Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us today for the COSE annual meeting. I'm Megan Kim, Executive Director of COSE and a Senior Vice President at the Greater Cleveland Partnership. I want to start today by thanking all of our amazing supporters. These organizations have been partners of ours for many years. They believe in small business and they believe in supporting economic development in this community. All of them immediately got behind Small Business Week as they too wanted to celebrate entrepreneurship and recognize the hustle of the small business owner. Thank you to our presenting sponsors, Medical Mutual, Minutemen HR, 188 Ohio Comp, and VSP, and to our other sponsors, McCarthy, Levitt, Crystal, and Liftman, Compass Payroll, Spectrum Reach, Vista IT Systems, Ahola HR Solutions, Eagle Bend Capital Financing, and Get In Gear Business Solutions. So a lot of businesses supporting our work, and we appreciate everything that you do in collaboration with us. Since 1972, the Council of Smaller Enterprises has been working for you, the small business owner. Since the very beginning, it's been our goal and our mission to provide resources, supports, connections, and solutions to help entrepreneurs start and grow businesses here in Northeast Ohio. And we certainly don't accomplish that all on our own. We're fortunate to have an extremely strong relationships with other organizations in the entrepreneurial ecosystem, so we can provide proper navigation to anything and everything that you need to address your business challenges. We and our small business support organization partners understand that our work right now is more important than ever. COVID-19 has had a significantly negative impact on our country and especially our small businesses. Please know that our team is doing all we can to be sure that you're informed and supported as you navigate all the resources available to support you, your business, and your employees through this time. When this pandemic hit in a panic, everyone went into survival mode, working simultaneously to understand how to protect employees and their families, how to access resources that will allow them to maintain operations, how the local, state, and federal governments were working to provide support and guidance, and how to try to pivot, re-strategize, and forge a path forward. Our advocacy team at COSE and GCP stepped into an extremely vital intermediary role. They were helping local, state, and federal policymakers understand the real needs of businesses and the community. They were also helping shape assistance programs and helping organizations access those programs. Within 3 days of the mandatory March shutdown, our in-gear online business service platform was also enhanced to serve as a COVID-19 business resource portal to address immediate economic impacts. The platform, the GCP website, and the COSE website provided access to direct services and hosted advocacy updates, links to pertinent information, and more. Over 16,400 companies and individuals accessed our in-gear platform, and another 700 plus asked for and received direct assistance during the first 6 months of the crisis. COSE also joined with the Cuyahoga County Stabilization Fund to help award capital grants and technical assistance to small businesses with the most significant need. And we partnered with 10 other organizations supporting entrepreneurs of color through the Business Growth Collaborative to disperse grants to minority-owned small businesses in Northeast Ohio. It's safe to say that over the last few months, it was of utmost importance for COSE and the Greater Cleveland Partnership to be nimble, informed, connected, collaborative, communicative, and compassionate, as we did everything in our power to help the businesses and people in our community. As you would imagine, COVID-19 also redirected some of our 2020 priorities and initiatives on behalf of small businesses. At the beginning of every COSE chairman's term, the chair has the opportunity to lay out their list of priorities over the next 2 years. Kevin Johnson, managing partner of NexGen Interactive, began his term at the start of this year. However, he started putting his plan and strategy together late in 2019. Given his incredible involvement across GCP and within the business community in the region, Kevin had a strong vision about how COSE would continue to evolve, advance, and enhance our work to make an even greater impact for the small business we serve. I'd like to introduce Kevin Johnson, who will walk through his plan, discuss our progress to date, and engage all of you to help us identify what's next. Kevin?
Thank you, Megan, and thanks to all of you for being a part of today's program as we discuss COSE's work and how we can best support you as our members. Today, I want to talk through our high-level priorities and share our progress. While businesses like yours and mine have been so incredibly focused on survival and new opportunities that may have been unearthed or that we've had to come up with, COSE has continued to work in the background to ensure our mission of providing resource, support, and solutions for small businesses in Northeast Ohio, and making sure that that's continued. From Megan's comments, clearly you know that we have been extremely busy trying to do that. When I started my chairmanship in January of 2020, I had laid out a set of initiatives that I believed would allow us to promote wealth creation in our communities, to provide even greater value to our many members, to assure that COSE realizes its potential within the GCP body, to more strongly connect small businesses to economic development, and to overall make a greater impact on and for our small business community. Well, as you all know, then came COVID-19. Like so many of you, COSE has fought through the impact of this pandemic on our members and on our organizational initiatives. We've figured out how to progress despite the pandemic, just as many of you all have done with your businesses. I'd like to discuss what we've been able to accomplish this year and a bit of what you might expect for 2021. One of the first things I want to talk about is leadership and succession planning, because I think that's always important. As background, Greater Cleveland Partnership has a government affairs council that meets with legislators and guides the organization's decisions on advocacy issues important to the business community. This is where we work on our businesses as opposed to simply in our businesses. The Government Affairs Council is made up of businesses of all sizes, including small, mid-market, and large corporations. You would imagine that the perspectives of different sized companies are not always the same. However, the Government Affairs Council has been successful at listening to one another and integrating all perspectives as leadership works to make a determination that is best for the business community as a whole. We work hard to make sure that no business, regardless of the size, their voice is not heard, their issues are not realized, understood, and if possible, acted upon. COSE has a small business caucus that includes the small business members of the Government Affairs Council, and it meets separately several times a year. This allows this group of small business owners to discuss with one another their pain points that can be addressed by our advocacy division. The Small Business Caucus helps assure that regulatory and other outside forces that impact small businesses are appropriately addressed in Columbus and in Washington, D.C. Tim Opsetnik, who's Executive Vice President and General Counsel at Technology Concepts Design, has led the Small Business Caucus and served as Vice Chair of the GCP Government Affairs Council over the last 2 years. We thank him for his incredible service. Tim will now be taking on some additional roles, which I will discuss in just a few minutes. Cheryl Perez, who's the CEO at BIGHR, will take the helm and begin her role as Small Business Caucus Chair and Government Affairs Council Vice Chair, beginning in January of 2021. Service at this level yields a greater understanding of COSE and GCP and aligns well with COSE leadership succession when my service ends next December. What we were not able to accomplish in 2020 was my planned engagement with previous COSE board chairs. It was my purpose this year to bring the past chairs of COSE together on a quarterly basis. You know, as you might imagine, there is a rich history within this organization, and each of these past chairs brings tremendous knowledge, perspective, and the impact of their chairpersonship. Each past chair has a legacy in this organization. I wanted to be sure that Megan and I had a chance to engage with them often, to share our ideas, to hear their thoughts, and to stay true to COSE's mission from the very beginning of the organization. We had planned 2 dinners in 2020, but unfortunately had to cancel, of course, due to COVID-19 restrictions. However, due to the importance that both Megan and I think of doing this, we are rescheduling this as a virtual event in early 2021. So we are so thankful that the members that you see on the screen were really interested in doing this, sharing their mind share with us and helping us in any way that they can with respect to our ideas, reaching into where COSE is now at this time, reflecting on their experience and bringing that to the fore. So that's what I wanted to talk about with respect to leadership. From there, let's move on to creating a stronger connection to the economic development and really connecting to small business to GCP. For 2021, we formed a working team whereby Tim and Cheryl will join Megan and myself. Together, we'll be working closely with COSE's executive committee to build valuable COSE member connections like the ones we have with advocacy. We're going to be working to do that with other GCP verticals to ensure a strong focus on small business across the entire GCP organization. In effect, the objective is to leverage the strengths of GCP to drive greater value to COSE members. We want to be purposeful in understanding these verticals and working collaboratively with our GCP senior vice presidents, intertwining small business objectives into their expansive scope of responsibilities. These verticals, as you can see, include business growth services, equity and inclusion, talent, real estate, and of course, our own group services, Inc., that Megan chairs and is responsible for. We've already laid the work and the background for all of this, and we look forward to what we're going to be able to produce for our members in 2021. I want to thank the GCP senior vice presidents and executive vice presidents for agreeing to work with us in this fashion to build even greater value for COSE members. We were not able to accomplish a planned outreach to our community development centers in our neighborhoods for the purpose of grassroots engagement in economic development. We still want to extend our work in neighborhoods beyond the Business Growth Collaborative. So as a brand, we can stand on our own as a small business resource in our tremendous communities. We intend to launch a new COSE mission to reach out to disadvantaged communities, promote entrepreneurship, and focus on wealth creation. Megan and I will plan a virtual engagement early in 2021 with hopes of deriving a sustainable path to mutual value exchange by Q4 of 2021. The next thing I'd like to talk about is just this concept of telling the stories of entrepreneurship. Really, you can capsulize this section under why does small business really matter? And we wanted to create a vehicle that helped us do that. Sharing the stories and the stories of our entrepreneurs with one another is a main facet of my plan that I put together late last year. Until someone has walked in the shoes of small business owners, they'll never entirely understand the true grit, the incredible passion, and the drive to succeed. So telling these stories to better educate the community, to draw attention to small businesses as a key contributor to Northeast Ohio's economy, and to help other entrepreneurs as they embark or travel on their journey is an important role for COSE to play. One of the primary ways we are doing this is through the creation of a new podcast series titled COSE Small Business After Hours. The podcast is hosted by me and Megan Kim with the goal of sharing the journey of the entrepreneur, starting the business, building the business, the challenges they encountered, the opportunities they pursued, the connections that they have that they've made, and whatever else comes up during our discussion. We've had an absolute blast recording these podcasts, and we've been so inspired hearing about how different entrepreneurs set out to build their own businesses and be their own boss. We are releasing one episode per week to keep our audience engaged and to tell the amazing stories of entrepreneurship in our region. Of course, because they're podcasts, they will be available after the premiere, and they'll be available on our YouTube channel and, of course, on our COSE website. I encourage you to take a look at these podcasts, share them with your individual networks, because they tell the story from businesses that started up as service businesses, businesses that started up with product ideas and launched those ideas and have product on the market now. I can tell you that I actually bought a product that one of our podcast guests has taken the market, because it's an absolutely wonderful product. I think you're going to get a lot out of them. And again, I just can't tell you how thrilled I am that these entrepreneurs have used this opportunity to work with Megan and I to tell the story and to share it with, to tell their story actually, and to share it with not just Megan and I, but our entire membership base. Please take advantage of that. I strongly encourage you to, and of course, please share it with your network. So let's talk a little bit about membership value. You know, weave throughout all these goals is this whole concept that I really like to focus on, which is value. The work product to date and the plans for 2021 are intentional seeds to increase COSE membership value. There's so much more to our organization than our MIWA. The MIWA is wonderful. We depend on it. We love it. It's been a great product for us. But there is a plethora of rich products and services that come through the COSE organization. Every member and every prospective member needs to know about them and know how to engage with those programs and those products. We were able to accomplish the launch of our Business Growth Compass in collaboration with the invaluable support of GCP Equity and Inclusion Division. The Business Growth Compass website serves as a resource guide for small businesses, helping them to connect to the right resources, solutions, expertise, and the tools that they need to develop and grow their businesses effectively and successfully at each stage of their development. You're gonna see us promote this more and more as we get into 2021. Also in 2021, look for COSE to expand our promotion of the Business Growth Compass and the InGear online business platform that Megan spoke about earlier, our peer-to-peer groups, and also our intentional expansion of Small Business Week throughout our region, just to name a few of the items on our short list. I think the last thing I'm going to talk about is our COSE Board of Directors. Everything that I planned, everything that I want to do, everything that I came in with and talked to Megan about, all of that's not possible without the support of a great team. I consider myself quite fortunate to work with the team that we have, the team that you see on the screen. There are 26 small business owners and an executive advisory board made up of 8 of those people, all intent on identifying ways we can work together to advance and promote small business in our region. I thank all of them for their continued support, guidance, and commitment. However, the board and I always find great value in hearing from the COSE's broad membership. Every business is unique, different size, different phase of their business, different industry, different needs. So understanding how we can better serve small businesses across the 11,000 plus membership of COSE, the better we can strategize and formulate the right plans, the right programs, and the best initiatives. I'd like to take a moment actually to point out just a few of our board members for the time and the effort on behalf of COSE in 2020. I'm going to start first with Tim Upsetnik. Not only has Tim been the leader of advocacy for the last 2 years, as I discussed earlier, but he also came forward with some ideas and plans for setting up what we've incorporated now, our peer-to-peer groups. These groups have been very important and very valuable for our members who wanted to get involved. And what these groups do is they personalize the experience of the entrepreneur and give you a small group a connection that you can work with and talk to and share challenges with, of experienced people who can confidentially engage with you and help you with your challenges. I'd also like to thank Vince Salvino. Vince was one of the individuals who also stepped up in the peer-to-peer groups. He's managing the early stage companies group. So if you have a company that's in your early stages of development, that's the one you'd want to work with. So contact us and inquire about the early stage companies. And then Fernando Berturo. Fernando, thank you for your work. You're heading up the Cleve Biz Connect, which is a small group focused on making sure that we make the connections that we need to make to help our businesses grow. Another individual I'd like to point out is John Young. John is the previous chair of COSE, so he's my immediate predecessor. But he's also the chair of COSE Group Services, Inc., where a lot of our products are actually formed. The gaps are filled in terms of what we need to be providing that our membership with. And he has chaired that entire group. So, John, I thank you for your work in that area. It is critically important, and you've done a tremendous job. I want to thank Mike Stanek. Mike chairs our representation committee. Our representation committee is essentially our board nominating committee. It's the committee that takes a look out and sees who might be interested in joining the COSE board and being part of the behind the scenes work to make sure that we are here doing what we need to do to help each and every one of our 11,000 plus members. We do these things called COSE meetups, and they're personal. They tend to take place as an after hours meetup at a location somewhere in Northeast Ohio. And we've been doing these meetups for years. We did not let COVID-19 stop that. We went virtual. And I just want to thank the COSE members who have chaired those sessions. So John Young, who I mentioned just a moment ago, actually headed 2 of those virtual meetups. Marvin Montgomery did 2 of them. Tamika Taylor did 2 of them. I'd like to thank Ryan Safier for doing one. Bob Pakanowski did one that was actually, they were all different. Bob decided he was going to showcase his chef's skills, and so everyone was actually cooking during his session and mixing a drink and getting some things done. That was fun and interactive. I want to thank Jill Wendelspent for her volunteering to host one of these sessions. So thank you all. You know, the problem when you start naming a few is that you inadvertently leave someone off. So I just wanted to just say a special thanks to those members, plus the folks that are on the COSE Executive Committee, because they're the ones that give me special insight. They're the ones who hear, you know, the bread out. They get the bread out of the oven first from Megan and myself, and they help us tailor what it is that we're trying to do for the board and, of course, for the greater membership. So thank you all. Greatly appreciate your work, your effort, your energy, and caring, particularly in this year. I would be also remiss if I didn't thank the COSE and the GCP staff. Wow. The only reason that I stepped into this chairmanship is that I had an opportunity as a board member to just get a good feel for the work that they do and the support that they provide to us, the board members who are volunteers. They do a lot of the heavy lift though, and I saw that through advocacy when I first joined COSE. So I appreciate these people so much. I'm going to start, and I'm going to name them. I'm going to start with Gina Messina, who is the executive assistant. She's the behind the scenes person who just orchestrates everything and makes our life all the much better. And, you know, Gina always reminds me that life, in my opinion, was so much better when we had real executive assistants as opposed to artificial intelligence enabled executive assistants. So just saying, even though that's my field of technology, there's nothing like having someone who knows what they're doing and can get it done very quickly. I want to thank Jason Geyer, who's the senior director in of business and community and engagement with COSE and GCP. Guy with tremendous energy and just, you know, sharp as a tack and able to help in so many ways. So thank you for your work during the past year particularly. I want to thank the entire GCP advocacy team, the people who actually do the lobbying, who know the politicians, who help us with the issues that impact our business. So Marty McCann leads that team. He's the executive VP of advocacy and strategy, but together with Marty is Sante Getty, who has been working with us for years, and Olivia Ortega, who's come on board and done a tremendous job. Marty, your team is stellar, and it's the model we're using as we advance forward and work with the other senior vice presidents of the GCP verticals. I want to mention a special thanks to Brian Hall, who is the senior vice president of diversity and inclusion, and Gina Cheverini, who's the manager of D&I, for their collaboration on the Business Growth Compass. Trust me, the Business Growth Compass, that great product that I'm so happy and proud of, would just be chugging along were it not for the work that was already in progress, as it turns out, to a certain extent, to a large extent, by GCP D&I. So Brian and Gina, thank you so much for allowing us to be part of that, make it even bigger and better than it was initially planned, but to serve our members in a way that's totally invaluable. So thank you, thank you. Last but not least, I want to thank Megan Kim, who's the Senior Vice President of Membership Development and Marketing, together with the Executive Director of COSE. We have a working partnership that has been wonderful, and her work, her energy, her effort has been absolutely invaluable. And I have enjoyed that collaboration and what we've been able to get done despite COVID-19. Finally, I want to just say a special thanks of recognition, if you would, for one of our board members, Ryan Safier of Ryan Safier Accounting. Ryan started on the COSE board back in 2009 and took on many leadership roles, driving various initiatives during his tenure. He served as COSE board chair. He sits on the GCP board with me. He sits on the GCP executive committee with me, representing the voice of the small businesses. He sits on GCP's finance committee and serves on the COSE Group Services, Inc. Member Benefit Review Board. Ryan will be stepping off the board at the end of his term, which is the end of this year. And we want to thank him so much for his amazing contributions and the impact he made on this organization. Ryan was one of the first persons that I can remember being a chairperson when I first was working with the advocacy group within COSE. So seeing leaders like him, seeing how he did it, what his interests were, and how those interests were communicated through the organization was an early textbook, if you would, for me, that I took copious notes on, not even thinking that this was something that I might do someday. So Ryan, you know, it's really a pleasure to thank you for the work that you've done for COSE. It is imperative that we stay in regular contact with small business owners so the organization can be strong and so we can deliver the right value to our members. I look forward to having you at our former COSE board chair dinner, the first virtual one that we will do in the first quarter of 2021. Those essentially conclude my comments. I want to again thank each member of COSE, each of the 11,000 plus members, for being part of this organization. I want to encourage you to please take a look at our organization and what we offer in terms of value. If you don't know, give us a call. If you want to engage in any way, give us a call. But our programs are, our full plate of value is rather extensive. And we want to make sure that each one of our members understands how to plug in to the value proposition offered by COSE and offered by GCP. I think when you actually see it, I think when you actually experience it, you'll be very thankful that you're a member of this wonderful organization, this storied organization. So with that, I'm going to close my comments. I'm going to say to each one of you, please, please stay healthy. I wish you a very happy and prosperous new year and a wonderful holiday season. And on behalf of Meg and Kim, we thank you for all that you do. We thank you for your part in the local or the regional GDP that we have here in Northeast Ohio, and we appreciate you as members of this organization. So with that, be well, take care, and we'll see you next time.